It's good to be back on Essence of Overlanding. The 18 months since I left you guys with the vehicle, I don't think I could have fully appreciated the journey that was to come. Breaking away from the security and the comfort of a corporate environment and then going off and diving into the entrepreneur lane in any country is hard enough. But Zimbabwe over the last 2-3 years has been probably one of the most toughest places to do that. So yeah, if I look back, it was a start, and then there was this massive opportunity, and the vehicle gave me an opportunity to follow a passion and a pursuit. And when you connect with that passion, the doors open, the right people come into your life, and your energy reverberates into other people's spheres of connectivity or interest, so people get connected to people that are following their passion. The early days were, how's this going? We started Overland Adventure Consultants, which was a great foundation for it, but then the opportunity and the interactions just grew way beyond that little niche opportunity that I had thought was going to be, my future. And through interactions with people, just opportunities and ideas that formed and experiences that were had, the expedition around Zimbabwe, the really wonderful people that came on board with that, and some of the very real and beneficial lessons learned about who you work with and how you work with people. And expeditions are always challenging and things go wrong and you have to adapt on your feet. And that happened with the expedition, getting malaria towards the end, a difference in opinion about how expeditions ran. But at the outcome, everyone says, well, that's what expeditions are like. But because you invest so much of your time and your energy, you put your name onto something, it becomes a bigger obstruction than you think. So I think that experience of not fulfilling our original goal of going right around Zimbabwe was one thing, but I think the strength that challenge brought and the relationships that were built through it and the opportunities that have come since, it absolutely needed to happen. If it hadn't have happened, I wouldn't have built the relationships with the people that came on board. And some of those guys are legends in the industry. You guys, Paul and Joe, Jess from Easy On, Robbie and Darren from Push Tech, the guys at National Luna, the guys at Terrain Tamer, who just took a punt on the back of a recommendation. And now, happy to say Terrain Tamer have got multiple outlets in Zimbabwe. I gave them the opportunity to get into the country. Easy On are distributing stuff in Zimbabwe. Push Tech have improved their footprint. So it might seem like a small thing, but you've given back to someone an opportunity that they can run with. And the burden of thinking that if you start something, you've got to come back and tend to that tree. But if you look in nature, once a tree's grown, it gets what it needs from its life. And I think you need to walk through life leaving trees growing and not feeling a burden of always having to go back and nurture everything. You just plant the seed and you carry on planting more. So that's a deep philosophical approach to it. But relationships are planted, and if they're the right ones, they'll flourish. The challenge with us today is, I guess 40-50 years ago you got a letter in the mail, and between getting a letter you were busy working with what your core focus was. And then we got telegram or a fax. You went to a place to get that communication or that work-related correspondence. Now, email was the next one. So you had to go and log in. You had to sit down at a desk before laptops and you got your emails. Then you carried your emails in a laptop, but you still had to switch it on. So you were able to still compartmentalize this administration of the business life, contacts, emails. And we've now gone into a world where that stuff is in your pocket on your phone, and the world's moving more to WhatsApp for business. And when you send an email to someone, you don't expect a response straight away. But when in modern times now you send a WhatsApp message, business related, people expect a response instantly. Anyone else out there, I'm sure, can relate to it. It's just time management. So that's been a challenge. You said, what are the challenges? Time management, distraction, and then feeding the insecurities or trying to put them to bed by doing something. Because if you're busy, you can be very quickly caught up in being busy, but for the wrong stuff. So I think one of the biggest personal growths is to to trust that process and that you're on the right track. By putting boundaries up, you're not necessarily being a uncooperative person or a unhelpful person. Because if you don't give yourself the time, you can't actually help people properly when it's the time to help them. And I say help, I'm meaning in terms of your interaction with people. If you're not prepared, if you say yes to every opportunity, you need time to prepare for those opportunities. So turn one down and know that when you get ready, there'll be more to come. So. It's encouraging to see people use this overlanding space for a greater purpose, in the sense of it's a microcosm for what they're taking back. And I think all your people you connect with in your circle, you come and travel in Africa, once they've done that trip, they never go back the same people. The last 18 months we've gone from sort of a one-man idea of consulting in an overlanding space and helping people build itineraries, and then we've started a little unique, very bespoke, novel mobile safari company that is very personalized in its creation from start to finish. 16 Degrees South, specialist expedition safaris, where we've built a niche for curating experiences. And I don't want to use the cliche of tailor-made, but everything about it is centered around a very small number of guests, a very intimate experience from start to finish, where the standard safari experience was fit in with us, and this is how it works. And we rather say, well, we'll fit in with you, and how do you want your holiday or your safari experience to work? So that's been really well received from a very early stage, and I'll be the first one to say we are very early on in that journey. But from the handful of trips we've done, the feedback has been encouraging that we're onto something where we connect with the guest, and it's not driven from a corporate bottom line perspective, it's driven from a passion. I think partnering with various other operators in the region and picking out guides who we feel are the key to any experience, your local connection to the ground and the people and the place. There's a lot to be said about investing in that time to curate an experience from the start. Building these relationships, and every chance meeting or opportunity to interact with people from different places, you get this ability to weave this tapestry of experience that will form this very unique book of your experience. So it's going to be exciting.
Thank you so much for joining us on our journey, sharing our films and following us. And if you would like to see more, please click on the link below, and we'd love you to contribute through Patreon.